Hi guys, welcome to a brand new XtraTalk in 2020. We're so excited to be here. We're so excited to have our first video of the new year. I hope you guys had a blast going into 2020. We certainly have, right, Papimento?
Definitely. Yeah, I gained some kilos, so yeah.
Yeah, me too, actually. So yeah, we have to hit the gym, I think.
Exactly.
So you were a couple of days off, in between the shoots.
Yeah, I went to Paris, came back, had a blast.
How was Paris?
It was great, just with family, and
good.
Had an amazing.
So you could clear your mind off Ajax a little bit,
No.
No?
No, actually no, because you're constantly busy with it, and it left a bad taste.
Did it leave a bad taste?
For me,
we will talk about that in a minute, by the way. Today, guys, we will have a couple of topics in which I will discuss with Papimento how Ajax did until this point. So the first half of the season. We will touch upon, what you think was good, what you think was not so good, players that stood out for you. How did Ten Hag do so far? And also we will talk a little bit about the transfer because we're right in the transfer window, January transfer, and we're being linked with a couple of players. I want your thoughts on that as well. So I hope you're prepared.
Yeah, I'm very prepared. Put some things on paper.
But also prepared for the season, to start again?
Well, I do have my expectations. Now we're not in the Champions League anymore. So if they don't hit those numbers for me, it's a failed season.
What are those numbers for you?
They have to be first in the league. That's foremost. Mm-hmm. They have to get that Champions League spot. And a quarterfinal.
At least.
Europa League
quarterfinal.
Yeah. Dutch Cup, really, I don't really care. For the Dutch Cup, just put in youth. Let them grow. Let them see what we have, But no, Europa League, I expect quarterfinal.
Would you rather also take the cup home? Just like last year? Just win it back to back?
Well, it's gonna touch upon things of the transfer, but
okay, all right.
We're buying.
So let's start from the beginning then. So we'll smooth a little bit into the topic.
Yeah.
So as I said, we started out early this year again because we had to play the playoffs.
Yeah.
We did qualify for the Champions League. I think that's a good sign. So. From your perspective, what do you think about the season so far? Take us from the beginning. What stood out for you until the December month, in which we had a couple of hiccups and injuries. So tell me, what do you think? How do you think we did?
I think we did okay. We're first in the league, so you have to be happy about that. I think we started a little bit difficult. We didn't really know what midfield we wanted to use. That was constantly an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because Ten Hag started out with Blind, right? Because
Martinez in the back and Blind as 6, and then Blind went back and then Martinez went on the midfield. That went a little bit better, and then we had the combo Alvarez, Martinez on the midfield, and then Donny on 10. But afterwards, I would Ziyech on 10 and Donny next to Martinez, so Alvarez on the bench.
What is your preferred midfield?
Actually, the way we were playing the second half was the best Ajax have seen. So,
which means? Which players?
Which means Donny and Martinez next to each other and Ziyech on 10. Mm-hmm. Neres was also injured, but if Neres is there, Promes and Neres and Tadic number 9.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you feel though that Van de Beek is better as a number 10? I don't mean he's better than Ziyech. I mean he's a better number 10 than if you pull him back on the midfield.
Oh, I agree. Well, the thing is, I think he's really a good player, and he's playing in for the team. But he's not as actively in the box as he was before and scoring like we know, because he's not playing his position,
which is one of his strengths.
Yeah, but he's also taking one for the team, so you have to appreciate that. Who else are you going to put on his position? Alvarez and Martinez, we tried it. It's not a lot of football on the midfield. We need that for the Ajax system to work. We let Schone leave, so we don't have that option anymore. Frankie de Jong left, so those were key players for Ajax.
Would you say that the midfield is still not entirely what it should be like? It's still like a bit of a concern? Or do you think those three players, if they're fit, that's a good midfield? And I'm
it's good
referring.
enough.
I'm referring to your preferred midfield then with Martinez, Donny.
I feel Donny is playing out of position. I think Martinez is can play both, like central back and midfield, defensive midfielder. Do I rather see Donny in 10? Yes. Would I rather have somebody else on his position there? Yeah, I think you can have a better person on that position. But for the Dutch league, it's sufficient, and we're not for Champions League. I don't think it's enough, but we're not playing that anymore. So we can keep this till the end of the season.
All right.
But we are missing a Schone type, right?
Yeah, so we'll come back to that as well, because we will discuss whether we should get a player in this month. How about the defense? Let's talk about the defense. We ran a poll on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. We said we asked our fans, who do you think is the best or most influential defender of 2019? Actually, we took the whole calendar year.
Yeah,
but for you, the question,
De Ligt, right? So
yeah, De Ligt
won that one.
But I have to say also, Blind got a lot of votes.
Yeah.
And rightly so, because I thought at the end, until he got of course that heart condition.
Yeah,
I thought he was playing really good. He was growing into his role more and more, and he was becoming very confident at the back. Do you agree with that?
Well, in the beginning of the season, I was really scared for our central defenders, because I'm not very fond of Veltman in that position, and I'm not very fond of Blind in that position.
Why is that?
Before I answer that, I want to say that Blind really made a positive influence on me, and Veltman did to his potential the best he can. So they really did well. But on the moments it mattered, and that's for me the Chelsea game away, it failed. So it wasn't good enough for the Champions League.
Because they conceded the red card, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, Veltman couldn't do much about the handball, but he did already have a yellow card. So they were already at their max potential.
They were exposed,
and they're not the fastest players. So it's not I don't see them as a good combo together. You saw Blind really playing very well at that position with a De Ligt that clears everything and let him do the attacking build up.
Look, the thing is, I have to be honest as well. You cannot take out the fact how we were last year. You know, people refer a lot about last year, De Ligt, Schone, Frenkie. We don't have those players anymore. And I mean, Frenkie and De Ligt were also exceptional players. Let's be honest, for their age. We cannot expect this season to have exactly a copy or a better player than those two players.
Not a copy, but I've seen Schuurs play, for instance, and I would play Schuurs in front of Veltman every day, because I think it's a different type of player, and he's faster than Veltman, so he can clear more.
But also Schuurs had a very traumatic experience on the AZ game we played.
I agree.
He played a good game until that moment.
He's young.
Yeah,
we're comparing a guy that's 20 with Veltman that's been with Ajax for a long time, and has much more experience.
All right,
but if we're looking at individual quality, I think Schuurs can make it further than.
Yeah, he has more potential in your
potential. He has the height. He should be stronger. So maybe not smarter, because he doesn't have the experience, but if you don't play, you don't get that experience. So
okay. So who stood out for you this first half year, and who was
Ziyech all day? Was also the player that I enjoyed the most to watch. So yeah.
Would you say he's better than last year?
Yeah. I feel like because last year you had Tadic that also played very well, and Tadic was kind of invisible this. Maybe his stats are good, but
he has good stats though.
He has good stats for this half, but I don't know. I felt he was invisible and not scoring as much as before, and he wasn't as deadly as before. Which that's why I'm just mostly disappointed in Tadic in the first half of the season. Ziyech was really amazing. I think he carried the team a lot.
And who for you was? So you say Tadic is the one that,
and the one that surprised me the most was Promes, because I didn't expect him to make this many goals and link up this well.
Right now, you're supposed to tell the fans what you told me when we got Promes.
Yeah, when we got Promes, I wasn't really hyped about it. I thought I didn't think he was going to be that effective, but I must come back to those words. He played a very good first half, and it's the link up with Ziyech that made him really shine. So yeah, I have to give it up to him.
So you're the most disappointed, or at least you expected more from Tadic, and the one that stood out the most for you is Ziyech.
Yeah.
And the one that surprised you most, as you said, is Promes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I want to touch upon Ten Hag right now. What do you think of Ten Hag, how he managed the team this 6 months or a little bit more, this first half part of the season?
That's a very good question, and I thought about it, but it's very hard for me.
Why is that?
Because I do blame him for certain things.
Like what? Be a bit more specific. What do you mean exactly?
I'm gonna sum it up. First of all, let's start with how long the first half of the season was for us as Ajax.
Because of us playing the playoffs in July already.
Playing playoffs, I was playing so many games behind each other. I don't feel Ten Hag made enough use of his talents and his youth to give the players that needed rest the rest they needed. And you saw it at the last. Okay, we had some injured players, but also they didn't have the energy anymore to give it all. And you saw it in a couple of games. And you have to blame it to the coach because he was playing the same team over and over and over. And I know you want certain chemistries to evolve, but we were saying it for many game talks that he should have put more youth and not play him till the 90th minute. Substitute them at 70, but also his substitutions, always at the 80 minute mark, started substituting, not always using his third substitute. 2 yellow cards against the away game versus Chelsea.
You think he should substitute either Veldman or Blind?
At least one. Now, with 10 players, you can still manage to get the win with 4-1 in front.
But isn't it very easy for us to judge in hindsight?
In hindsight, but didn't we say during the match already? We did. Should, in the half, we said it already.
True.
He should take one out.
Yeah, it's a concern.
He didn't.
Yeah.
And we got double punished in that game. And isn't it kind of naive for a coach to leave 2 central backs with yellow cards in the pitch?
Although we have to be honest, that referee was atrocious. Like I have never seen something like that in my life.
Yeah, but you don't give the referee
all the
ability to make those decisions on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
If you take one out.
Yeah, you're still running risk,
exactly.
with those 2 players.
And you're 4-1 up.
Exactly.
So you don't need to force anything anymore.
True. That's true. You're completely right. Okay, so moving on. Last topic this month. We have to rush a little bit because we're...
I know.
We're taking a lot of time.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. But that's okay. So this month we have been linked with a couple of players. Vertonghen, Schone. Right now, actually, we're very close, as if we can believe the news, that we will get Babel on loan until the end of the season. What do you think of these linking us with these kind of players? Do you think we need players at this point? Because at the same time, Promes seems to being healthy again. Neres needs a couple of weeks more, but a lot of injured players are coming back. Although Labiat will take more. But the attacking players are coming back.
Before I start talking about each player individually,
yes,
I would like to say in general, Ajax is a club that plays youth, makes them grow, and sells them. That's their business. That's their philosophy. That's everything, right? Don't stray too far away from that. That's my opinion. Okay, so they're thinking of Vertonghen, which is an ex-Ajax player. They're thinking of Babel, ex-Ajax player, but they're both in the 30s. Okay, what is the message you're sending for the youth players that are playing those positions? I'm not talking that they're bad players, because Babel, I've seen him in Fulham playing he was playing for our relegation team, and he did very well. I was really impressed with his drive, his skill. He was even scoring, so really good. But I don't think Noah Lang will play anymore. I don't think Babel, if you get Vertonghen, Schuurs will get as much time.
Let me be a bit more specific.
Yeah.
Let me be a bit more specific. Schone is actually a lot of fans say, you know what, we're missing a player next to Martinez who has the ability to play football. Lasse Schone can fill that void.
I agree.
That's one. We don't have.
I didn't talk about Lasse Schone, but because we have a problem. Hold on.
Let me finish. Let me finish first. Let me finish everything, then you can react. Although you can say he's coming from far, he has been injured for a while, but Karl Eiting is the type of player that can do it. But then Ten Hag has to play him a little bit more to see if he can.
Well, he got injured. He dropped a lot after the injury.
That's true. So Vertongen has to do with the situation with Blind. Blind, at least until March, he won't be able to play. Then we don't know what might happen. You know, we don't know if he's able to come back and perform at his full potential. So that remains vague. And apart from Martinez, who is doing good at the midfield position, if you take Martinez out and you put him at the left side at the back, then you're missing again another player at the midfield.
I read today that they're trying Alvarez out on the central back. So that's already a central back. You have Veldman, you have Schuurs.
True, but they're all righties. They're all right-footed players. You don't have a left-footed player centrally, especially after Blind, you only have Martinez. That's the second one. And Babel, the thing with Babel is Babel can play either on the left side, attacking position, which is his favorite, and also number 9. He can hold the ball as well. He has done that before.
Okay.
As an extra option, he can also play on the right. So basically, he can play all the attacking roles. I understand from Ajax perspective that they want more, you know, to fill in the gaps, because what they experienced at the end of the first half of the season, they got so many injuries, and according to them, they could not fill in the void with the youth. Whether you agree with it or not, do you think Ajax should, because maybe they have, you know, I mean, they want to become champions. They want to play Champions League. They don't want to take a risk, you know. And at the same time, they're playing Europa League. They also want to give it a try and see how far they can get. So at the same time, you know, if we say to them, if they don't get anyone in January, they say we'll go for youth, and they get eliminated soon, or they don't become champions, then all of us will be angry at the end and say, why didn't you get anyone in January? But now a lot of fans are saying, no, you should give youth a chance. You have enough players, etc. That's actually also what you're saying.
I read that Gravenberch is doing very well in Qatar at the moment. I'm just scared that if you get those experience, look, it has two sides of the coin. Okay, experienced players can make youth players grow more because they can teach them things that will develop them even faster. But will they develop if they don't get minutes? And that's my concern. Ajax should keep going for youth players because it's been always successful for Ajax.
Okay, so what's your position? You would try
Babel, great player. I think we need him because I did wrote down that the number 9 position for me is very weak. And our wing positions are not very weak, but it's because 2 players got injured, Labiat and Neres, that we really felt it.
And Promes as well.
And Promes also at the same time. So it's kind of unlucky, but how many times does that really happen, you know? What's going to happen to Huntelaar? He's going to be third striker after Tadic and Babel? Because I think Babel is going to play number 9 if Promes and Neres are healthy. So what happens to Traore? He won't get a chance at all.
Exactly.
I do think Babel is exceptional. He has the drive, he has the speed, he can shoot. He can get those young players, teach them some stuff about what he's learned. So it could be a great addition, but I'm not very fond of the idea of getting only older people because it's against the Ajax philosophy.
Okay, so if it's up to you, and then we have to cut the program or the video. If you're in charge in the January window, what would you do?
I would get a number 9 and a left back.
So you would go for Babel?
A number 9.
As a number 9?
He could be an okay number.
Okay, so you would agree if Ajax gets Babel, that's one, and you would get a left back.
Yeah. Because after Tagliafico, who do we have?
Well, actually, that happened, and then they played Mazraoui on the left side.
Did you like the way Mazraoui played on that side? I didn't.
Okay.
And I think you should always, as an Ajax, have every position double booked.
So those two positions for you are critical.
Critical.
All right.
And we don't have anybody. I mean, Martinez could play that position. Martinez could also play in the central back, but then get a midfielder. you could switch around the team.
Yeah, but I don't think they want to switch too much. They want to keep most of the players that have been playing at the same position as much as possible at the same position, you know? So, all right. I must say, you prepared pretty well.
Yeah, man. That's how I roll.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Guys, thank you for watching. We will be back actually next week with another edition of XtraTalk. Ajax will be sitting across me, and we will look a little bit more into the second half of the season and see what Ajax thinks. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.